Hello all, welcome to PT Ask Dan and Lee. We are back. How we doing?
I like that. Aloha.
Aloha.
Oh, no, you were saying hello all. All right, I get it.
That too. Either one works.
All right.
All right. So let's talk content. This is content, PT Ask Dan. We do articles, we do a podcast, we do various things to try and drive content. And our positioning is we don't sell ourselves. It's a thought leader side of things. And there's some naturalness if you want to talk to us about our services. Works well for us. But we've been beating this drum for, I don't know how long, many moons, many years. And I still see people struggling to get off the schneid and develop content and do things. And video is a spot to go. And in everything I see, like LinkedIn, it's always the same people doing it. There's not a lot of newness coming to the space, but it helps, I think, dramatically if you figure out how to do it. But a lot of people struggle just to get going. All right.
Sure.
So Lee, marketing side, let's talk about content and what are some things. Let's go back to some basics maybe on what do you need to do to get going, why it's so important, and what people should expect.
Here's the thing. If you aren't comfortable doing it yourself, there are tons of people like me who are out there that will help you do it.
Yep.
And not just like me. A great example is your podcast with 401k marketing and Rebecca's team. It's
Yep.
a team that creates content for people who sell 401k plans. It couldn't be simpler. And the benefit to doing this is immense. It's incredible. You know, we talk a lot about earned media, which in some ways I feel like content creation kind of lands in that place. It's not like buying an ad. It's not like, you know, buying social media placements, things along those lines. This is really an opportunity for you to position yourself as somebody who is a thought leader in your field, which it gives you immense credibility.
Yeah.
And I think, John, you're a perfect example of this. Like you said, you have many different methods of content, but how often do you get requests from other media outlets to comment on different topics and things along those lines? And those things come because you put yourself out there consistently.
Yep.
And I think the number one piece of advice that I would give someone is this doesn't have to be expensive. This is a
Yeah.
relatively inexpensive opportunity that really could benefit you tremendously. And in general, it's probably going to cost you significantly less than a true advertising campaign. And I think, John, you would attest that in many cases, you are getting better than results than an advertising campaign.
Yeah. It's also a lot more enjoyable
It
than
is.
traditional
Yeah.
advertising and marketing. And it just evolves things. Take us more to the sales side, Dan, on content and the impact it has and things to think about. Because one of the things I do respect and we struggle with up front, and I get pressure on at different points, it's hard to measure.
Mhm.
It is. I get that. Sometimes I can tie things directly back. Other times I just can't. And other times I'm at a conference and a bunch of people say, hey, I see you do this. I see you do that. And you're like, all right, so it's getting there. But always it's all right, for this spend, what's it creating? And that side's tough. So
Maybe it's for those who aren't really doing a lot of content. Let's take a baby step. Look at your email. Is your picture in your email signature?
Yep.
It's something as simple as that. In today's day and age, it's so easy to put a picture in there, and yet most people don't have one, or they have their company logo, but they don't have their actual visual face in there.
Yes.
Second, and again with emails, we can do this using companies like Vidyard, where you can actually record a video and send that in the email as opposed to typing it all out.
Yep.
But here's the difficulty: is it takes time and effort. It's so simple to just send an email after you type in a sentence or two. It takes effort to actually record a video and send it out. So I think at the end of the day, we as people need to decide, is it worth the effort or not? And I think as I go back through all my emails, maybe 25% are little video clips, because to me, those are worth it. The other 75, I just type out. So take baby steps. Once you get that, hook up with whatever PT's doing or other people that you see on LinkedIn, or and start doing them. YouTube's another channel if you're a business to consumer, especially. There's so much that's out there. Don't get overwhelmed. Take a small step.
Yeah, I think the other thing that we found, and I think Lee, you can attest to what we do here, is I know my role in the process. It doesn't involve the tech side. You handle that for us. It doesn't involve the build out on the YouTube side. You handle all those kinds of things. My focus is what are the things we want to talk about and how do we frame them?
Mhm.
And that's where I spend my time. And I get help in the ancillary kinds of things. And we have our expert. Here's Dan. Here's our sales coach. It's not John sitting in a room creating something. It's here's the authority coming to the table, the expert coming to the table saying, here are the things you need to think about. And it plays well for us. So
Very true. And just one very small, tangible piece of advice. You might be thinking to yourself, I don't know anybody who does this kind of work.
yep.
I assure you, if you're using a web service provider, an SEO person, they know people. Ask
Yep.
them for a recommendation.
Yep. You'll get the help you need.
Yep.
All right, everybody. See you again tomorrow.
Take care.